During the earthquake, I grabbed Ethan, who tried to rush back to save his first love. That decision cost me a leg. On our wedding day, that disfigured girl jumped from a building. He never spoke of it, yet devoted decades to helping me with rehabilitation for my injured leg. On our 10th anniversary, he shoved my pregnant self into traffic. Before walking away, he hissed, "Ivy, do you finally understand true helplessness?" As tires crushed my body, I realized his enduring hatred. When I reopened my eyes, reborn at the moment of collapsing walls, I released his hand. "Run, Ethan." Through billowing dust, I watched him decisively shake off my grip. Last lifetime, I'd dragged him back, shielding him with my body as debris fell. The excruciating pain made me think I was dying. With my last strength, I'd whispered Ethan, find happiness, in his ear. Waking in hospital to my amputated leg, I'd sobbed over losing fencing. His mother made their family kneel until I stopped crying. That sunshine boy wiped my tears with trembling hands. "Ivy, let's marry. I'll care for you forever." His profound gaze made me believe in love rekindled until tires crushed the pregnancy test in my bloody pocket on our anniversary. No. I must save Lily. Ethan's roar shattered my memories. He flailed as if expecting me to restrain him like before. I remembered his muscular arms catching me during rehab. And his venomous anniversary whisper, "Ivy, know what today is? My Lily's been gone 10 years. She'd accepted my confession. You'll taste true abandonment now." Rescue workers carried me to safety while Ethan's fate remained unknown. His mother later accosted me at the hospital. "Where's Ethan?" Her haggard face twisted. "Weren't you together? How could you abandon him?" I choked on explanations. Last life. She'd first been grateful, then weaponized my disability, arranging girls for him while playing heart attacks whenever I protested. As the rescue vehicle departed, Ethan's final words echoed, "Who made you judge of life and death?" I'd die willingly for Lily. Our decade of childhood bonds meant less than Lily's month with him. The honor student had failed exams for her whims, claiming she was his perfect match. Now watching dust settle where he'd vanished, I finally understood some white knights choose their damsels. Consequences be damned. I stared at Mrs. Carter, words failing me. Ethan had lost his father young, and she'd single-handedly raised him. With graduation around the corner, I couldn't imagine how she'd survive if anything happened to him now. "How could you?" She clutched her chest, collapsing onto the hospital floor in hysterics. "You watched my son walk to his death. What kind of heartless monster are you?" A crowd gathered as cameras and smartphones emerged. I could already see the viral headlines, "Ungrateful girlfriend abandons heroic boyfriend." But then a blood-stained gurney crashed through the chaos. Mrs. Carter scrambled toward the mangled figure, Ethan's right arm reduced to shredded flesh beneath sterile bandages. "You idiot!" She beat her fists against the gurney. "Why risk your life for some girl? What about me?" Ethan's ashen lips curved. "Saved Lily. Had to. Keep Lily safe." Murmurs rippled through the onlookers. "Lily? Thought he was dating that other girl? Hero complex much? His life matters more?" As the crowd turned hostile, Mrs. Carter's dramatic swoon seemed genuine this time. Medics swarmed while I slipped into an examination room. Test results came clean. By discharge time, they said Ethan would live, minus an arm. Fate's cruel joke, this time he played the tragic hero saving his beloved. Let Lily Anderson walk his shattered future now. From the ICU viewing area, memories of my previous life surfaced, Lily clutching her phone during the earthquake, her voice trembling with manipulative sweetness. "Say you love me, Ryan, or I'll die here." I'd seen her cycle through theater department guys. Heard her laugh with friends. "Ethan? Just keeping him warm until Ryan notices me." I'd tried warning Ethan. Tried saving him from becoming collateral damage in Lily's games. But he'd chosen this path, chosen her. A month later, I brought flowers to his discharge. "We're done." Ethan didn't argue. Lily's frequent hospital visits had seen to that, her tearful promises of eternal devotion cementing his martyr complex. Alone in his vacant room. I traced the outline where my own hospital bed had stood last lifetime. Distant laughter drew me to the window, Lily throwing herself into Ethan's lopsided embrace. Right sleeve pinned empty. My phone rang. Mom's number. Where are you? Her voice cracked with familiar worry. Last life. She'd seen through Ethan's charm but stayed silent until our disastrous marriage. Don't worry. Mom. I'm free of him now. Movement caught my eye below. Ryan Parker leaned against the hospital gardens, smirking up at me even as Lily pretended to adjust Ethan's sling. When our eyes met, Ryan blew a kiss before disappearing into the rose bushes. The empty sleeve flopped awkwardly as Ethan tried returning Lily's embrace. She giggled, twisting to ensure Ryan's retreat went unnoticed. Cold clarity washed over me. Let them play their twisted games. This time, I chose survival. He pressed a finger to his lips in a shush gesture, his eyes glinting with silent warning. Someone like Lily having admirers was hardly surprising. Even among performance majors teeming with beauties, she stood out with those starry, almond-shaped eyes that held mesmerizing charm. Rumor had it several renowned directors had offered her roles, but she'd rejected them all, insisting on saving her acting debut for Ryan. Tragically, fate intervened last lifetime when an earthquake scarred her prized features. Back then, Ethan abandoned my postoperative recovery to visit her repeatedly, only to be turned away each time. He mistook her suicide as despair over ruined beauty and our forced marriage, never knowing Lily had jumped after seeing Ryan's social media post a hand-holding photo with another girl, radiating couple goals. My decade-long struggle after losing a leg never erased Ethan's perception of Lily's flawed perfection. He blamed me for all her misfortunes, oblivious that she'd never truly cared for him. My youthful devotion, I realize now, mirrored Ethan's willful delusions about Lily. The rebuilt campus buzzed with graduating seniors job hunting. In our past life, Ethan's golden boy charisma made recruiters flock to him. Now he sat at obscure company booths, clumsily signing his name left-handed. The pitying glances he received mirrored what I'd endured years ago. Ivy, how do you view work-life balance? The interviewer studied my resume. I understood the unspoken question about single women's commitments. Memories flashed before I answered firmly. I was born to be a mountain, not a stream. Her approving nod followed. For the wheelchair fencing coach position, she finally asked, what personal significance drives you? My hand drifted to my right knee, rotating the intact ankle I'd miraculously regained. Last lifetime's bitterness had made me smash TVs at fencing broadcasts until a coach handed me a foil, saying lost legs? Grow wings. By then, my body couldn't comply. Now, reborn, I'd help others soar. Physical limits shouldn't cage dreams. Faster, higher, stronger lives in determination. Passing Ethan and Lily later, I caught her saccharine vow, don't worry about work. Ethan, I'll take care of you forever. His desperate reply echoed familiar, just give me time. Lily, I'll prove myself. She tolerated him to avoid social judgment. He clung to delusions of grandeur despite missing exams for her competitions. Without his previous advantages, climbing back would require Herculean effort. Ivy. Emma barreled into me. All sunshine and no worries. The theater kid I'd befriended begged, be in my graduation film. As I agreed, memories surfaced. 18-year-old Ethan waiting outside my dorm all night, clutching a jar of paper stars. Ivy. He'd stammered. We're going to the same college. Could we? We'd fought so hard to be together, only to watch time erode everything. Now, as fake casual Ethan hugged Lily while glancing my way, I walked on without turning. The boy in the sweat-drenched white shirt had dissolved like willow catkins in spring wind, leaving only the bitter aftertaste of what might have been. Ivy probably worried I'd be upset over the breakup. She deliberately positioned herself to my right, blocking Ethan and Lily from view. Ethan's mother came to campus the other day making a huge scene about Lily. She kept ranting about how Lily should remain loyal to the Carter family forever, even demanding she bear them a grandson immediately. Any woman would crack under that kind of mother-in-law pressure. Ivy murmured while studying my reaction. Grace, I said firmly. Ethan and I are done. I don't want updates about him anymore. At this pivotal crossroads of my life, there were far more important things than romance. Letting someone who no longer existed in my world occupy my thoughts would be self-sabotage. Emma's script centered around a real-life principal from rural China. I played a village girl forced to abandon education for arranged marriage. During rehearsals, I noticed we shared the theater with Ryan's production crew next door, where Lily basked as leading lady. Their open flirtation had become campus gossip, though everyone pretended not to notice given Ryan's influential family. Ethan's promising job prospects mysteriously evaporated overnight. He reluctantly accepted Lily's nepotism hire at some company. The decent salary forever tainted by being everything he'd once despised. In my previous life, he'd been relearning to walk during this period after losing his leg. Now instead of physical therapy, he clung desperately to Lily for emotional support. But Lily had transformed, glowing with ambition and the attention of new admirers. Between rehearsals, I'd overhear her snapping into her phone, "I told you I'm busy with crew meetings tonight." When Ethan visited, she'd vanish through back exits whispering, "Don't tell him I'm here." Valentine's Day brought the inevitable explosion. Ethan stormed into rehearsal clutching wilted roses. Humiliation curdling into rage when Lily ignored him. "Lily Anderson, I've called you 20 times. He shouted, hurling the bouquet. The entire theater froze. Lily turned slowly, her porcelain features hardening. "Some of us have actual careers. Ethan. We can't all wallow in self-pity." She emphasized actual like a knife twist. His face whitened. "After everything I sacrificed for you? I never asked you to play hero." Her laugh was icicle sharp. "Maybe I would have been fine without your little stunt. Or did you expect me to grovel forever because you got me this pathetic job?" From the wings, I watched the boy once called math prodigy stagger under the weight of his hollow sleeve and emptier future. Loss teaches value better than possession ever could. Just as Lily would never comprehend what Ethan's sacrifice truly saved her from. He'd never know how I'd spared him greater ruin. After the confrontation delayed rehearsals, I stayed late practicing fencing sequences for my role as the martial artist escaping rural poverty. In the darkened theater, my blade suddenly caught flickering light from the audience seats. "Who's there?" I nearly dropped my épée. Impressive footwork. Ryan materialized like smoke. Whiskey and cologne wafting off him. "Ethan never deserved you." Assuming he meant to threaten me into silence about his affair, I preempted, "Your thing with Lily stays between us." He chuckled, swaying closer. "Lily's too polished. I want my lead raw and real, someone who fights like wildfire." His fingers brushed my arm as I recoiled. Everyone knew Ryan's artistic collaborations often blurred lines. His family name letting him collect broken hearts like trophies. Ivy shot him a cold glance and took 2 steps back. "Who I choose to be with is my personal business. It's none of your concern." I removed my performance costume and turned to leave. But Ryan caught up, grabbing my sleeve. "Ivy, has anyone ever told you how different you are?" His eyes gleamed with mischief. "If we got together, don't you think Ethan would be devastated? Imagine him crawling back to win you over." For one fleeting moment, the idea tempted me. But I immediately crushed that weakness. My worth wasn't defined by men's pursuit. Nor did I need anyone's regret to validate my excellence. My brilliance shone independently. "I want nothing more to do with Ethan. If you keep harassing me, I'll expose everything I know. That won't end well for you either." I coldly shrugged off the costume and strode out of the theater. After that day, Ethan began giving Lily the silent treatment. He stopped visiting her at rehearsals and avoided being seen with her on campus, foolishly believing this was punishment when it was exactly what she'd wanted. On my birthday, Emma organized a surprise party with the entire cast. Mid-celebration at the restaurant, an anonymous text arrived, "Happy birthday, Ivy." The nickname made my breath catch. Ethan had used that exact term in his first love letter when we were 17. Without hesitation, I deleted it. Walking back to campus surrounded by friends. I swayed slightly from champagne. A male classmate hovered uncertainly, torn between offering support and respecting boundaries. I pretended not to notice until we reached the streetlight illuminating a familiar lanky figure. The group tactfully withdrew as Ethan stepped forward, his new prosthetic arm glinting. "Happy birthday," he said hoarsely, clutching clumsily folded paper stars. I maintained cold distance as autumn wind scattered his offering across the pavement. "I'm leaving for Beijing tomorrow to get the prosthetic adjusted." His voice cracked. There was a time I'd have dropped everything to accompany him through medical procedures. Like when he'd once biked through rain to deliver my birthday cake with a bleeding arm. Crumbling into tears the moment I touched his wound. Those days were gone. "Best of luck," I said icily. "How can you be so heartless?" His anguish drew curious stares from my friends. "Can't we even be friends?" I met his gaze unflinchingly. "You lost the right to call me that when you chose betrayal. This isn't lingering affection, it's desperation from being discarded. But I tolerate no disloyalty. You made your bed, lie in it." Turning sharply, I rejoined my friends without backward glance. As graduation loomed, Ryan began leaving extravagant gifts. Designer rings slipped into my bag. Limited edition dresses mysteriously appearing. I ignored these games, focused on preparing my new fencing team for upcoming championships. On Lily's birthday, Ethan returned unexpectedly with his mother. Mrs. Carter approached me backstage. Aged beyond her years. "Ivy," she pleaded. "Ethan's still immature. You know how he acts impulsively but clings to the past." Her voice trailed off as stage lights signaled curtain call. "In my past life, after we married," she had uttered those same words to other women multiple times. And their implication was crystal clear. Hearing them now filled me with revulsion. No one remains a perpetual child. He's a grown man who must take responsibility for his actions. Whether he's nostalgic or not is irrelevant to me. He has a girlfriend now, you should take this up with her. I turned to leave. But Mrs. Carter grabbed my arm. "Auntie favors you and wants to reunite you two. You know perfectly well Ethan's current relationship is stable, they've even secured jobs together." Her tone turned acrid. "Let's be blunt, if Ethan hadn't lost his arm, someone like you would never have been in the running." Her maternal pride remained intact, clearly unaware of how Ethan had manipulated connections for employment or his explosive fights with Lily. Mrs. Carter didn't actually approve of me, she simply considered Lily too rebellious and wanted me to clean up their mess. Having endured her toxicity in my previous life, I couldn't help but wonder what fireworks would erupt when this entitled matriarch collided with Lily's privileged princess attitude. Then I'll wish them success. May they enjoy lasting harmony. Spare your matchmaking efforts, I'm unworthy of your golden boy. Mrs. Carter snatched her purse, storming out just as Ethan's voice echoed down the hall, "Mom, we're going to meet Lily." As celebratory chatter flooded the corridor, I quietly organized props. Emma mentioned Ethan had booked an upscale restaurant, drawing crowds from both film crews. I left without fanfare, my days now consumed by coaching at the provincial team. Approaching campus gates later, I froze at the sight of an ambulance speeding past students sprinting toward the theater building. "Hurry. They say a drama senior got caught cheating." The full story came from Emma. The Carter entourage had burst into the green room expecting celebratory champagne, only to find Lily and Ryan in compromising positions. They were going at it like rabbits in springtime, Emma quoted theatrically. Ethan stood paralyzed while his mother lunged at Lily, only to be kicked in the chest. The ensuing brawl between Ethan and Ryan was immortalized by an overeager videographer in the crowd. "I don't need details," I interjected. But Emma continued. During the scuffle, someone pushed Lily. She fell, there was blood everywhere. My tea went down wrong. Turns out she was 3 months pregnant. The baby's gone. Wonder how Ethan's taking that news? Her eyes sparkled with vindication. "Mrs. Carter's in ICU after a heart attack. You dodged a cannonball. Ivy. They're dumpster fires, not your circus." "Enough, Emma. Ethan's just someone I used to know. I showed her my phone footage of a bilateral amputee executing perfect flesh. This remarkable fencer had nearly been forced into arranged marriage before finding empowerment through sport. You're amazing. Emma hugged me tearfully. When I'm a director? Your story's going on screen. At graduation. Emma's short film climaxed with girls chanting "I am the mountain" as I demonstrated saber techniques on stage. Swirling in my fencing whites. I glimpsed spectral headlights and a wheelchair-bound woman mouthing "Save me" across timelines. Through irreversible years. I answered, "I'll save us both." The vision dissolved, phantom tires stilled. Phantom pregnancy vanished. Standing tall and settling dust. I pulled us both to safety. Reborn into this life. I vowed to cherish myself. The auditorium erupted in thunderous applause. My eyes found Ethan seated among the crowd. His face contorted with uncontrollable sobs. To my surprise, Ryan stood first with a rose bouquet large enough to obscure his entire frame. Approaching the stage. "Ivy. You look radiant today." The floral arrangement's centerpiece boldly proclaimed, "Ivy Johnson. I love you." I left it untouched. Emma, as event coordinator, intercepted the offering with professional courtesy. "Thank you for your support," she diplomatically stated. While packing backstage, I sensed intense scrutiny from the doorway. Turning, I found Ethan lingering there. He shuffled forward, arms trembling as they extended toward me. "Ivy, graduation's here. May I?" We both understood this marked our final encounter. The glint of his prosthetic forearm emerging from the sleeve softened my resolve momentarily. "Be happy," he choked out. The words echoing what I'd once said in our previous lifetime, a cruel twist of fate's humor. His lips quivered. "If only. If you'd stopped me that day, made me see reason." "Ethan." I cut him off coldly. "Cowards regret actions but lack courage to own them. Your remorse diminishes you. Seeking my forgiveness is pointless. We're irrelevant to each other now. Never meeting again would be our greatest blessing." Shouldering my bag, I exited the theater, determined to leave shadowed memories behind. Post-graduation, I deliberately avoided news about that circle. Emma later informed me of Mrs. Carter's near-fatal surgical complications, the Andersons' dramatic confrontation with the Carter family, and Ethan's desperate loan-seeking after job loss. Ryan's relentless messages about casting me as his film's lead after breaking up with Lily went unanswered. Wealthy manipulators leveraging power nauseate me far more than any fictional CEO fantasy. My focus centered on coaching our Paralympic team through grueling preparations. During our pre-competition hotel stay, Emma's urgent call disrupted my anxiety about venue adaptations. "Ivy. Check trending." The viral clip showed edited footage from the earthquake incident. Mrs. Carter's distorted accusations paired with my frozen expression captioned, "Not my problem." Our team's details got doxed, sparking vitriolic comments. Who trusts someone who couldn't save their own circle to care for disabled athletes? Cancel their qualification. Ethics matter in coaching. Emma's suspicion rang true. Tracing the post's origin, I recognized Ryan's trademark profile picture, the same digital footprint that had destroyed Lily in our past life. As icy realization gripped me, an unknown number flashed on my screen. "Ivy Johnson." Saw the headlines? Even through the voice modulator, I recognized Ryan's voice. "What do you want? Abandon your coaching position and join my team. Otherwise, more than just your reputation will suffer. I can make sure your entire squad gets disqualified." The prolonged silence pressed down as I sat alone in the dark room. Ryan had always been unpredictable. If I refused, who knew how far this madness might escalate? This was a critical juncture for everyone involved. I couldn't let personal grudges ruin the competition we'd prepared for months. Yet this coaching role meant everything to me, a dream position I'd earned through merit. "Have you considered the video's origin?" Emma's question struck like lightning. That day, my memories remained fragmented. But aside from Ethan and his mother, there'd been no familiar faces present. Only someone close could have leaked this. My fingers trembled as I dialed Ethan. "Ivy." He answered breathlessly. "I didn't release that footage. His defensive tone fueled my suspicion. It was your mother, wasn't it? The prolonged silence confirmed everything. Ivy. Please understand she's unwell. I'll take full responsibility. Let me explain everything publicly. With what credibility? I snapped. By the time he untangled this mess, the damage would be irreversible. Where's the full recording? The version showing your explanation? Ryan bought the rights when he covered our medical bills. Only he can release it now. Ethan's voice, once comforting, now chilled me to the bone. My phone clattered to the floor. When the provincial team contacted my supervisor, I braced for reprimand. Instead, Coach Grace soothed. Stay calm, Ivy. We're handling this. Her kindness recalled my own words during interviews. Physical limitations shouldn't define our dreams. Many teammates saw this as their last chance. Failure meant returning to provincial towns and arranged marriages. This wasn't just my career, but all our futures. Blame me, I told Grace. Strip my coaching credentials. Let the team compete. Even as I spoke, I knew this surrender would stain my professional record permanently. But how could I obstruct these athletes who'd sacrificed everything? Packing hastily, I called Emma. Before I could finish, she shrieked. Check the trending topics. The full video had exploded across social media, Ethan's tearful explanation and bystanders' condemnation now public. The court of public opinion shifted instantly, focusing on Ethan and the mysterious Lily connection. Within 30 minutes, the scandal vanished from feeds, replaced by celebrity gossip. Only powerful intervention could execute such surgical damage control. If Lily's true identity emerged, tracing Ryan became inevitable. Clearly, even he wanted this contained. However, I still don't know who managed to leak the complete video that escaped Ryan's meticulous plan. After this turmoil, Ryan never contacted me again. As the competition preparations intensified, these events seemed like mere minor disturbances. My team performed exceptionally well in provincial competitions, securing all top 3 positions. Those girls smiled under flashing lights, embracing each other in wheelchairs to Ocean of Stars. Ironically, the pre-competition controversy drew greater public attention. The Mountain Village girl who won the championship soon received sponsorship offers covering all future training expenses. Amid cheers, I received a call. A familiar yet unexpected voice spoke. Ivy, you're truly remarkable. My memories instantly flashed to my previous life, that dim hospital room where insomnia-ridden me found solace in a female journalist's calming news broadcasts. Later, that same journalist allegedly jumped from the hospital's 17th floor. Her death labeled PTSD, induced suicide after earthquake coverage. Now meeting Grace at a cafe, I recognized her as the camera person from Mrs. Carter's confrontation scene. Did you release the footage? Yes. Her voice flowed like gentle stream water. Why help me? Ryan would have secured all evidence through money or influence. As a journalist, she could have traded the footage for career advancement. My daughter became paralyzed. Her eyes reddened. During the earthquake, I left her with my husband for work. A collapsed pillar crushed her legs while he was cheating at a nearby hotel. I recalled the hospital from my past life, likely where her daughter received treatment. She loved dancing. Teachers said she had rare talent. After showing her wheelchair fencing videos and quoting your words from the fall recruitment event, she wrote this. Grace placed the suicide note on the table. That night she cried endlessly. Next morning she said, Mom, I can dance in a wheelchair. My breath caught. Without you, she might have died. Without her, Grace's voice broke. The grainy news photo from my previous life resurfaced in my mind. Ryan offered a fortune for the video, but I told him the camera malfunctioned. She omitted mentioning the simultaneous divorce battles and medical bills I knew about. If not for you, her gaze held mine. Even mountains of gold mean nothing without righteousness, I whispered, completing Mencius' quote she'd left hanging. She looked up at me, her words resonating with unwavering conviction. I once blamed myself, believing I failed as a wife and caused my daughter's tragedy. But you were right, we're mountains. Not streams. Why should ravines stop us? I should make him pay instead. If your story needs a savior to rewrite its ending. She continued. Let her be a woman. We're not fools brawling over men. Our swords should strike at cowards. With those parting words, she departed. The scandal broke during the fencing team's victory banquet. This time, Ryan stood atop the podium while his world crumbled. Viral footage showed him disheveled with Lily during her birthday celebration, followed by Ethan's flower-bearing shock. The love triangle trended for weeks, evolving into wildfire speculation. I never discovered how Grace obtained the video from Ryan's inner circle. But karma proved inevitable. Betrayers get betrayed, alliances built on gain crumble without it. Lily's acting career nosedived before takeoff. Netizens struggled recognizing the botched plastic surgeries until recent photos revealed her once stunning beauty replaced by waxen rigidity at 23. When her agency publicly confirmed Lily's post-breakup mental breakdown and failed procedures, the fallen star became collateral damage. Even her private mockery surfaced. Ethan? Just a plaything. How else would Ryan learn pain? I often wonder if Ethan follows entertainment news, and what he felt hearing that recording. The saga concluded with Ryan's investors exposed for tax evasion. The hypocritical tycoon's multiple affairs were exposed by his ex-wife's evidence, now awaiting trial. This is Grace reporting live as developments continue. The familiar newscaster's voice carried bittersweet relief during her sign-off. Years later, I reunited with Emma, returning from overseas studies to avoid marriage pressures. She accidentally became an acclaimed director through relentless filmmaking. She approached me about a biopic project, mentioning how Ryan, once their department's golden boy, now faded into obscurity while their classmates thrived. When Emma asked for memorable quotes to include, I wrote, years ago, someone told me fate governs life and fortune. Now I say, defy destiny when you refuse surrender. I suggested featuring my first student, the scrappy dark-skinned girl who became Paralympic champion. She still sends annual competition photos, her radiant smile blooming with hard-won confidence. Many former students joined Emma's production, calling me their savior who taught resilience. They never knew my initial goal was self-salvation. Yet midnight reflections bring back the wheelchair-bound woman's wisdom. We're multitudes. Saving yourself breeds unexpected courage, the exact force this world needs to make anyone the hero of their story. This time, I smile knowing I've finally become my own protagonist.